Hey, traders, welcome back. So it is Friday, and I wanted to make a little video because I'm actually bored. I'm not doing too much today. I find that Fridays are a day that I don't know. You know, it's probably some superstition or something that I have in my head, but I end up losing more money on Fridays than I do any other day of the week. And as I've gotten older, I've realized rather than trying to argue with myself about the actual logistics of why I have why I lose money on Fridays, I just accept it and try to stay as flat as I can or try to stay really fully hedged on Fridays. It's funny because this conversation that just came up with my keeners today. And by the way, my keeners are a group of guys that really put a ton of effort into their excuse me their trading, and I stay in touch with them because I like them. And I've known some of them for 2 3 years now. I always like it when I will always be there for all of my students forever. And um, if anybody ever wants me or wants my help, I'm always there. A lot of students just are really happy doing their thing, and I don't hear from them again. But these guys have stayed in touch with me. There's actually a couple other guys that I stay in touch with after 2 3 4 5 years that when they have problems they come to me. But a nice conversation that we had this morning, and I want to talk about it real quickly, is one of my students, Gabor, has actually really mastered understanding the Fed. And I already started off this morning saying, hey, that's a pretty big number on the unemployment data that comes out. And then this conversation ensued. And we were talking about it. And Gabor at that time, I want you to notice the time here, 9:02. He said, Sasha was saying that there's no signs of inflation on payrolls. Um, and then Sasha, being Sasha, did something funny here. And, and then Gabor comes out and said, Doves are going to love this, especially even if we have a strong numbers, they can always pull the labor market participation card. And obviously the inequality of the labor force, Hispanic and African Americans. Now, I want to show you what happened, 902. I want to show you what happened to the euro after Gabor made that forecast. Oh, sorry. Okay, so Gabor made that forecast, 902. 902. What did he say? He said that the doves, in other words, anybody that is bullish on the US dollar are going to love this forecast or this data. And the market went on to rally from 122.93 to 123.33. Beautiful move, right? So I knew that was going to happen as well too, right? He knew it was going to happen. Now here's what's interesting. I later went on to make a comment here. He also made a comment, curious when they are pushing Brainerd out, Dudley leaving already, and Mester's apparently considering a vice chair. And 918, I said, Gore, I'm really impressed with your grasp of I meant to say the Fed, but these things, you should really consider going back into Forex. Now, he happens to have found a very profitable method, um, basically using what I have taught him with order flow. Sorry, with options. Forgive me. I don't want him to get too bad into it. And then I went on. I went on to. I went on to just try to encourage him a little bit, and let's go here. I told him about this prop firm. It's a little sketchy. I'm not really sure about it. I don't want to plug them just yet, but apparently this company will. He doesn't have any money. He's a waiter, so that's his problem. He'd be making a lot of money right now, but he doesn't have any money because he's just a waiter and he lives in London. Not that he's just a waiter. He's a young man and he's building his bankroll. I don't mean anything by that. So what I wanted, I went on to tell him about this prop firm that will actually give him some money, but it's a little bit sketchy. I'm not sure of it yet. It's called Audacity Capital. I don't want to get into that too much. What the hell? I'll get into it a little bit. We'll give them a little plug. Now, I want you guys to be aware. I am not. I do not know too much about this company. I just started looking at them, but apparently they'll give you a small $10,000 Forex account with 10-to-1 margin, and they will give you, there's some limitations. You can't trade more than zero point 0.3 lots, and if you lose more than $1,500, they cut you off. You have to have some trading background in order to work with them. Now, I don't know if this company is good, bad, ugly yet. It was, I like the company. I'm talking to them, but obviously I don't like to work with prop firms unless I can get a lot more money up front, and I'm in negotiations with them. But I think they look pretty good so far from what I can tell. The one thing that's a little bit sketchy is they do ask for $199 up front, which I guess is not bad, just a processing fee, and then it's $99 a month. So I'm trying to find out if they're worth working at. Now, the nice thing is if you make 10%, they double your money. If you make 10% again, they double your money again. And they're willing to go as high up to $250,000, where they will, if you perform well, and they'll renegotiate and your split is 50-50. So, I think it's a legit company. I've been a little sick this week, so I haven't finalized anything with them. I'm also working with my existing hedge fund and also my managed account. So, but I always like to have options, and I like to separate things. I like to keep Forex, and other companies. But little plug for you guys at Audacity. If anybody wants to check into it, let me know. I have a contact over there, and I can help you get funded here and maybe get you a few better terms and conditions. I haven't joined them though. I want to be very clear about that. And the main reason I haven't joined them is, like I said, primarily because I've just been really sick this week with a bad flu, and I just found out about them recently. But I am thinking about joining them. It's, they look like a decent company, and I like the fact they're in London. So I will join this company. I'll let you guys know how that ends up working out. You can never have enough. I never like to put all my eggs in one basket. The more access to capital I can get, the better. I love the guys that I'm working with in my new hedge fund. That's great, but why not spread myself over to just somebody that specializes in FX, because I do well in FX as well too. So never put your eggs in one basket. And my prop firm is great, but why not have another one? It's not a big deal. I have up to 6 monitors here, guys. If I really want 6 monitors, I can have multiple screens open. And my style of trading is not that aggressive, meaning I don't need to monitor things. Anyways, little plug there for Audacity. I'll end up joining this company. Let you know if you really want to know more about them. Reach out to me on Skype, SSP Trader, and I'll hook you up with a guy there. Okay, so going back to our conversation here. So what we were talking about actually expanded into something a little bit more interesting. And I want you to see something here. It's really interesting. Um, look at you. He said, there we go. He said, this is a very weird case of unconscious competence. Okay. Now, I want you to see what I wrote here. I said, agreed. You all know much more than you think you do. You're all just lacking confidence. You think losing trades is a bad thing, when it actually is just normal, even for great traders. Now, I want to tell you guys a funny little story. Back in 2013, I taught 300 traders to trade. Now, at the time, I was actually going through some personal stuff as well too. But the bottom line is I had a terrible year in 2013. It was horrible, and it happened to coincide with the time that I was training 300 traders. So most of them just said I sucked. But 5 of them, and 5 personal friends of mine I stay in touch with to this day, understood that trading is variance. And the same 5 traders, now I don't know if they're all multi-millionaires. I kind of exaggerated there a little bit. I think 2 of them are multi-millionaires. 3 of them have made over $1 million. I don't know if they are still multi-millionaires, but they've made over $1 million since that point in time. And I said, 2014, 15, and 16 were great years. 17 was okay, right? So what I really want to expand on here is the fact that even if you're a great trader, it doesn't mean shit, guys. Okay? It really doesn't mean shit. You can have bad years. Okay? And the reason for that is because of the chaos factor. And I pointed out an example where right now I know the EU is going to test 1.2150. But what I don't know is exactly how and exactly when. I know it will. I know order flow can help me with getting to that level. But I could still lose money on this trade, right? I could be totally right and I could still lose money because of the chaos factor. And what a lot of people don't understand is there is a lot of luck involved in trading. And that's why so many people fail. Because they're looking for something that works all the time. They never find it. They just buy the next course, hoping, praying. And when I say is just accept the fact that you will never know for sure. And if you can't deal with that, then do some of the things that make it easier, like maybe hedge your trades, maybe trade smaller size, maybe do options trading where you can limit your risk. Okay? Find something that when you're wrong, it's okay and it's normal. Because my students have the most powerful information on the internet. I promise you out there, if you're one of my students, whether you're a new student or an old student, there's nothing more powerful that you're going to find than what I have taught you. I promise you, I guarantee it. Like, it just isn't going to happen, right? There are tricks that will work for a little while. Maybe you'll find a little trick in something that you might make money for 3, 4, 5, 6 months, maybe even a year. But will you have a 38-year career like I have? Hell no. Does what I do work perfectly every freaking year? Hell no. Can what I do be improved upon? Absolutely. But there's nothing that will work more consistently over a 30, 40-year career than what I'm teaching. And I just know it to be true, not just because it's my information, but because I've been using it for 38, 40 to 40 years. And I know how it fluctuates in the variance. Okay? So Gabor was saying that he really likes his hedge videos I'm doing. Keep them up. So the point I'm trying to make, guys, is that Listen, that's why trading is so hard. Let me kind of explain it quickly. I don't want to go on for too long here, but let me just give you an example. Let's say that you learn, let's say, idea, right? Let's say you learn concept number 1, okay? So you're learning this, say a market profile, right? I'm just using examples, right? Let's say you learn market profile, right? And you learn all about market profile and you use it and you have, a good year, right? Then you have another good year. Then all of a sudden you have a bad year. Now, what most traders do is they say, oh shit, market profile doesn't work anymore. When in reality, market profile could have continued to work, then not work, then work. And this could be years, and this could be weeks, and this could be days. Okay? And then not work, and then not work, and then not work, and then work. Okay? Now let's say somebody over here learns about support and resistance. Okay? Learn about support and resistance. And, days or weeks or years, doesn't matter. It's all the same things. It works. It works. It works. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It works. It works. It works. Okay? But then it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Now, here's the problem with retail traders. They don't fucking understand, excuse my language, this is normal. It's normal. It's completely normal, right? Especially when you don't even know how long something isn't going to work for, because context is everything. Okay? In other words, there are times when support and resistance will work a lot because the context of all the pieces are aligning. But the problem is they don't know all the other pieces because they've only learned support and resistance, or they've only learned market profile. So you don't know the other components that go into price movement. Okay? And that's why it takes traders such a long time to become good at trading, because they have to try all these different things. And then not only do you have to try all these different things, support and resistance, market profile, patterns, right? There's so much shit out there, right? And so you got all these poor traders that are trying all these different things, and it takes such a long time to get good at any of them. And then they don't understand that there's going to be strings of variance. Okay? When things are going to work and they're not going to work. So people might say to me, Steve, well, why are you any different? Why with what you teach, how is it not going to be different than market profile, support and resistance, or patterns? Because I don't focus on market profile, support and resistance, or patterns. What I teach people is the most valuable thing, and that is how to read market context. That is why I'm different. Support and resistance will be effective at certain times. Market profile will be effective at certain times. Certain times patterns will present themselves. But one thing that will never change is context. And that is the ability to read what the market is currently doing now in the now versus the past, to build a context. Does that make sense? That's why I'm different. I know it sounds obscure to a lot of people. A lot of people really have a lot of hard time grasping this. Okay? But basically think of it like this. Imagine if you were a market profile specialist, or you were a support and resistance specialist. And you were able to filter out, by using context, these bad days. So this bad day, you could get rid of it. This bad day, you could get rid of it. Now, you're never going to get rid of all the bad days because chaos will always play a factor. But I can help people get rid of a lot of the bad days by understanding context. Okay? Context is king. If you don't understand the market environment in which you are navigating, you have zero chance. And just understanding support and resistance or market profile or patterns or volume or whatever the feck else people are looking at, okay? They're just going to run through periods of success and failure. Okay? Will learning context make you a consistently profitable trader every day? Hell no, because we just don't have access to that much information to be able to do it. We're always retail traders. We're always lacking information. Always. Okay? We always lack info. Right? But it can instead of having, like I said, instead of having good day, good day, good day, bad day, what should be a bad day here can be nothing. What should be, and you'll have another good day, you'll have another bad day, and then good day, good day. What should be a bad day here, you'll get nothing. Right? So even when you understand context, it doesn't eliminate the fact that we lack information, but what it does do is it reduces variance. Okay? When you can understand the context, you'll reduce your variance and your results will be more steady in a chaotic environment. I know these are really big things to wrap your head around, guys, but believe me when I tell you, I have been studying chaos for the last 38 years of my life, and I know a lot about it. There are certain things that are controllable in chaos, and there are certain things that you're never, ever, 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 ever going to control. Just think about it. Let me give you a very brief example here. Imagine that I knew that what the Fed announcement was going to be. Right? I knew the Fed announcement. And I knew the Fed announcement was going to be bearish for the dollar. Well, look what happened. The market came up. It spiked up. It looked like it was going to continue higher, the euro versus the dollar. But then, bam, it slammed back down before it slammed higher. This is the effect of chaos. Okay? It's actually an effect of liquidity, but we can't, as retail traders, will never be able to see the book and the liquidity, but it's an effect of the chaos of the market that is based upon the liquidity. Okay? Some very big things I'm telling people here, and a lot of you won't get it, you won't understand it, you're going to go back to looking for simple answers. I'm going to learn market profile, I'm going to learn support and resistance, I'm going to learn volume. But your results are going to be far more chaotic than my results. Yes, I still can have bad years. Yes, I still can have bad weeks and bad days. They're never going to be disappearing. But my variance is going to be reduced, and I'm going to be able to sustain. There's nobody out there, unless you can see the order book and you're scalping as a market maker, that isn't affected by unknown factors. And even them, they're usually hedged quite agree, and they have a massive amount of information. much more than we could ever have. Okay? So, that being said, I hope you guys could take something away from it. I know your brain is probably buzzing right now, but trust me when I tell you, watch this video over and over and over again. If you're a retail trader, you need to understand this. The sooner you understand that you cannot control chaos ever, 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 the happier and more profitable you will be. What you can do is you can limit the effects of chaos on your trading results. Okay? Hope you guys enjoyed that. And by the way, I think I just put this other way. I didn't have that in there. Good day, good day, good day, bad day. This is the day I avoid. What I do is rather than going through all this, I'm able to avoid a few days that would normally be chaotic. Okay? Hope you guys enjoyed that. And thank you. For those of you that are out there looking for the Holy Grail, keep going, suckers. You might find it. Never not. In 38 years, I certainly haven't found it. The only place I found it was when I was a floor trader and I could actually see orders coming into the market. The other place I could found it was when I actually worked on a trading desk and I could see the full depth of a deep institutional order book. And those are the only places I could see the Holy Grail. And even they weren't the Holy Grail because they couldn't tell me any new orders or new influences or new news or new geopolitical situations that were going to come into the market at any second. They just gave me a slight advantage, but nobody knows what's going to happen in 2 seconds from now. Nobody knows that. Even if you knew it, something else could happen that could null and void it. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you. It's an important video. So I'm going to mark this video as probably one of the most important videos if you're learning to trade. And hopefully you'll understand what I'm trying to say. Because I hate to say this, guys, but I don't know a lot of things in life. But what I do know, I know them very, very, very well. And I do know chaos very well. And I hope one day, just maybe, my genius will be seen by other people, and maybe I'll make a little bit of mark in history. I'm sure many other people know what I know as far as, but they're keeping it to themselves, okay? I'm the only guy out there that's trying to teach you what a lot of very smart people know, but won't tell you, or maybe they're telling you in a way that you're not understanding it, okay? You can never control chaos, but you can manage it well. That's the lesson. Bye for now.